What's up, cool people? I'm Matt Conroy, and I just got to thinking about something recently that I don't know how many people have thought much about this. Now, given that I work at a school, this kind of thing is on my mind quite a bit, I guess. But as we head into the winter months, we're possibly about to face a rather unique situation, as I mean most of 2020 has been, but with the pandemic going on and with lots of people doing online school and such, I can't help but wonder, as we enter the cold winter months, will the coronavirus take away yet another one of American children's beloved pastimes? Are we going to see the end of the snow day? Now, I don't mean to make it sound all dramatic when I say it like that, but think about it for a little bit. Okay, so a lot of students have been doing online school, right? Quite a few have gone back to physical or some sort of hybrid thing with schools in recent months, but with more cases coming and some schools never having even really opened again in the first place, and thus lots of online school stuff being done, it makes me wonder, though, because if school is being done online and or there's already kind of a backup plan in place in case the school has to shut down for a non-weather reason, never mind a weather reason, with those kind of plans and procedures and stuff already in place, it makes me wonder, will there even be such a thing as a snow day? Because what sense does it make to cancel a day of school when you already have stuff in place for people to do the work at home? Now, granted, I know there are significant sections of the country that really don't get snow days, like hardly ever. I live in Texas. I know this all too well. If anything, there would be an ice day around here before a snow day, at least the part of Texas I'm in, but I digress. Some areas this wouldn't really matter so much, but again, kind of the main point is a lot of schools already have inklings, at least, of how to go about handling school-related communication and work and learning when they're not able to meet in person. Many of them had to figure this out in the early stages of the pandemic. And if they didn't figure it out, they noticed a need to figure this kind of thing out. So even if not necessarily this coming year, it makes me wonder if school days will no longer be a thing. But there are some things that get in the way of this, on the broader scale, because there are plenty of students who have very limited, if not completely lacking, resources to do online schooling kind of stuff. But then the question arises, what have they been doing up to this point when they couldn't meet in person? Like, did their parents just switch to homeschooling? That's a possibility. Some, I'm fairly certain, have even done that. Also, there's a chance of maybe, trying to get together at a certain place with multiple other people. I know there was a church near where my family lives in Pennsylvania who had a particular, like, it was more so for like tutoring, but they had a time set up where, like, kind of the main, I'm gonna say fellowship hall because of my upbringing, but like the main kind of meeting, large group meeting room in the church that wasn't the sanctuary was, there was a time frame scheduled to meet and have people work on their classwork, possibly with the idea that, hey, we have internet access here at this church. We can provide that for students who might need such a thing. And, that does still provide possible problems depending on the timing of things with, actual online class meetings that students would have and things like that. But, like, I think pretty much everybody across the board has had to figure out some adjusted way of handling school because of the whole pandemic situation. And so if people can figure this out because of a pandemic where the idea is to limit human contact as much as possible, basically, and not leave your homes unless absolutely necessary, then I gotta imagine those same kinds of ideas and principles would translate to a snow day. Now, meeting at a central location would not translate to a snow day, so that still becomes a bit of an issue. If there are, I shouldn't say if, because there are still millions of students within the United States who do not have reliable quality internet access. But in the future, at least, maybe not right now, but in the future, I could see some very easy ways. I say easy like I am running a school. I'm not running a school, but I could see some seemingly pretty easy ways of getting around these things. For example, you start off the school year, any other year pretty much, meeting in person, or just at some point you're able to meet in person, or even just go to the school at some point, not even having to meet there, just have a planned time frame in which people could go to the school, pick up their school materials, like many students had to do this past school year, or this current school year, really, with picking up like laptops to do their classwork and meetings and such, and other things like that. Just in with that, have it designated to where every student gets like basically a syllabus, not just, the quote unquote syllabus type thing that some teachers give out that just gives the rules for the class. No, I'm talking full blown like college level syllabus that I've seen quite a number of professors do, where it lays out the plan for that course for the entire term. So then even if, there was a snow day or a lockdown from a pandemic or something like that, you could easily have a resource available right there that says, hey, here's what you're supposed to do. And as long as there are also textbooks in use and workbooks and things like that, sure, there are cases for the students without internet access where the materials would be delayed, like turning in their homework would be delayed in such a situation, but you would still have the plan right there to know what assignments need to be done when. So, like, again, not that, it doesn't seem like it would be that difficult to implement that type of thing in addition to measures that have already been taken to, possibly adjust to not having school in person. And a lot of this stuff seems like it could be transferable between, the pandemic situation that we have and like a snow day type situation. Now, look, I'm not saying that, we should get rid of snow days or anything like that. Again, it's a treasured childhood pastime. I'm not saying get rid of it, but I'm saying there are things that could be done that could easily circumvent the need for meeting in person at a school if such an event were to arise. So, like, I'm just saying, like, it's just a theory, a school theory. No. I'm not trying to rip off any of the theorist channels run by Matt Pat or any of those people. But what I'm trying to get at here is that, like, whether or not you really want something like this to happen, it might, because of the things that have already had to happen, the things that have the various ways of adjusting that people have already dealt with. That really, it's like, okay, so, oh darn, there's a lot of snow, can't really leave the house safely. Guess we'll just, fire up the laptop and do school online. Or, guess we'll just look at the syllabus for each course and look at what homework needs to be done. Different things like that. Like, not saying it's going to happen right now or really soon, but, like, it could seemingly be done pretty easily, pretty soon. And I'm guessing more and more people have thought about something like this, not necessarily in regards to a snow day, but because of pandemic lockdown situations where people are not able to meet in person for school. So, like, I mean, again, now, the thing is, when it comes to education in the United States, it is still technically deemed a privilege and not a requirement. I mean, people do school different ways. Like, homeschooled kids, snow days have literally made no difference to them because they were already being taught at home. So it becomes basically just mass homeschooling, mass temporary homeschooling. Worst case scenario. So, like, again, not saying I want it to happen, but it very well could. Especially if schools consider the fact that I mentioned a little while ago, that education is technically still considered a privilege within the United States and not a requirement. Now, certain levels of education are seemingly required for certain, career fields and things like that. But those are usually at least college level. And so what one does to get to the college level can vary a bit. I mean, like I said, homeschooling is a thing. But in any case, I mean, if schools take this thought process that, there might be some students who would kind of fall behind or be put in a bad spot if we do this, if they think that isn't worth the time spent to have designated days off from school, that I don't know. I I don't know the inner workings of running a school and whether or not it would be beneficial from a monetary standpoint to have fewer days of the school in operation. Although a lot of public schools really, even when the official school year is done, they're running summer school stuff, or there's other things going on where they don't like completely shut down the building. So I don't know. Maybe that's not what they would think because of such, circumstances. It's like, well, we've got this building open anyway. What's one more day tacked on to the end of the year? Let's have a snow day anyway. So I don't know. These were just thoughts that got turning in my head. There's ideas and evidence for saying snow days will remain, and evidence and ideas against thinking snow days will remain. So what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Anyway, again, just a thought that I had crossing my mind. I wanted to put it out there because it's like, well, it might be relevant pretty soon. Who knows? So anyway, that's going to do it for now, I guess. So, yeah. As always, like and share if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell to get updates when I post new stuff. Look in the description for info on my other social media pages and how to follow me and interact there. And of course, as I said before, leave comments down below with your thoughts on this particular topic, question, theory, issue, thing, whatever you want to call it. Or any other video ideas you might have for me. Whatever it is, let me know down below. So that's it. Hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I'll see you for the next video, whatever that might happen to be. And hopefully the winter months in this situation don't end up being even crazier than what we've already experienced. But whatever the case is, until next time, stay cool, people.